and recording. Hello, I am Simulated Erk and welcome to Simulated Erk Train Simulator. We are back. Great to be back with you, and we're doing something a little bit different today for reasons that will become quickly apparent once we get into things. And the difference is, normally what I tend to do is I have the routes that are included natively within Train Simulator, and there's, a few basic routes, a few basic trains, that sort of thing, including ones that might be seen on your screen in front of you when you first purchase the game. Generally, you've got a few routes which the game launches with before you get into downloaded content and that sort of stuff. Now, there are some people, and I used to be one of them, where I would only get things from the store. And there is a lot on the store. Like if I go to the store now, as a classic example, we'll go to the store and you will see things such as the CSX Hanover subdivision, $56, a loco $28. These are all Australian prices. A new route for Frankfurt, $56. The Metropolitan line for London Underground, $56. Then you have to buy the train on top of that, which I've done, which will be coming up on a future episode. You can choose. You've got lots of different routes that you can choose from. They usually have rolling stock that is relevant, that is included in this particular line. And just here I've got 11 pages of routes to choose from, and for instance, if I choose that one, East Coast Main Line, it will give you a list of the route, what it comes with. Sometimes you need to buy a little bit extra if you want to make it complete with the AI, that sort of thing, and it will often tell you what it can be purchased with or what other people have brought. Same to you can go to the marketplace. Now if you're after something really specific which there may not be a route for, you can do that. There's like 14 pages of different trains, different colour schemes, that sort of thing. These are usually they're usually a little bit older, or they're a little bit cheaper, and you might not necessarily want. You might already own the route, but you just you might want another train just to drive on that particular route. Might be a particular type of train that you like, and you might not care what route you necessarily drive it on. But there's a lot here. But, and this is one criticism that many people have had in relation to Train Simulator. Okay, English content, good. European content, there's a lot of it, especially Germany. Some other countries like France and Spain, maybe not so much. America, yes. Canada, there's a little. Japan, there is not much at all. For instance, if I go to the store home and I search for Japan, maybe I have to go to Marketplace, search for Japan, come on. It's not letting me search for Japan. But there's not much that would come up anyway. But there's a lot of locos here. Some of them are just paint. Some of them are just different color schemes of things that are already available, or whatever. However, apart from this, you can also go to other websites, and some have been featured relatively recently, that you can go and get reskins, often for free, and you can download them and play them, and it's all good. However, if you're looking for something outside of the UK, if you're looking for something outside of Europe, something outside of America, something outside of China, which isn't a high-speed train, or something out of Japan with very limited exceptions, you're not going to have much luck, so you might have to go somewhere else. And went somewhere else I did last night. I've been thinking about this for a while, and things have got a little bit easier in this department. The country of India is well known for massive congestion, massive railways, massive amounts of people, lots of hustle and bustle. It's a massive population, one of the biggest countries on earth, and there's Indian people all over the world that have gone to various parts of the world, and yet in Train Simulator you barely see them. It's like you wouldn't even know they were a country. But I didn't want to do that necessarily. Where did my screen go? There we go. But if you were to go back to the main menu, that's what you should do. You should go back to the main menu. There are many videos on the internet. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's to do with Train Simulator or, modifying other games. We'll just keep it to gaming. You can modify a lot of games. You can add content that you get from outside, in this case the Train Simulator universe, outside of the store, inside Train Simulator and Steam. There's a lot of videos out there where the people don't necessarily talk. They just point their mouse at things and they expect you to follow along. But last night was an interesting experience for me, because I thought, I might think this once every 6 months. Oh, I should go and have a look at Indian Train Simulator. I see it on Google if I search for Train Simulator all the time. Now there is some versions that of Train Simulator that are older. There's Microsoft Train Simulator, which I did own back in the day, and some people use that as their base for Indian Railways. And there's also mobile games and all that sort of stuff, but who wants to play mobile phones on a gaming network like Simulated Erk? So I looked up Train Simulator 2020 Indian Train Simulator, and so there were videos that were directing me to, and actually had this type of screen featured and all that sort of stuff, and they'd say a couple of words in English, and I'd think, oh, you beauty, there's a lot of people in India that speak English. I thought, you beauty, I found an Indian guy speaking English that can help me to download things and install them from India and inject into Train Simulator, because I know that I can't do it directly from the store. I know I have to go from outside. And he'd say, hi, something like, hi guys, like, subscribe, blah blah blah, and then he'd start talking Indian. But I was actually able to follow for long enough, and because I'm used to seeing people not actually talking, they just move their mouse and go, oh, that's that folder, you go into that folder, you download this, you put it in that folder. So even though the guy was talking at me in a totally different language, I was able to actually understand. I was able to sign up to the website where you get the content, and then I was able to download some free content. I paid some more. I'll leave a link in the show notes in the description, so if you want to do the same, you can. But know this. If you want to drive an Indian route, you will have to pay for it, and I've got no massive objection with that. There may be some free versions somewhere else, but I haven't found them just yet. If you're happy to run something Indian, something for free on a route that doesn't look like India, you can do it for free. But if you want a little bit more of an Indian experience, running an Indian train on an Indian route, etc., via this site at least, you will have to pay for it. So and also, probably goes without saying at this point, but you also have to be comfortable in getting your coding hands dirty. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but getting your hands dirty and downloading the files and injecting them into Train Simulator itself, not using the store, because you won't be able to. Did it work? From the utility that I was using very early this morning, it seems to have worked. Will it work? Let's see. So let's go and drive, and let's see if it actually did work. There are also scenarios that you can download, and so let's see if they work. So let's go first of all to quick drive, because that's the way that I usually go first, and you'll see on the screen that the last thing that I recorded and the last thing I did on Train Simulator was the Flying Scotsman at the end of episode 50 on the French high-speed route. That's the last thing I did, so I was expecting that screen to come up. So far so good. Now let's go to our locos first of all, keeping in mind they may not, although I think they are, quick drive compatible. So let's have a look. English, American, Alaska. Well, it is American, but Alaska makes it stand out. Alaska, America. Page 1 of 17. Okay, now the stuff that hasn't got pictures is actually the stuff that I'm looking for, because it starts with BS, which is the abbreviation for the site where I downloaded it from. There's no picture, although having said that, there is one up there. No, it's a different one. Actually, that could be one of them. So there is Okay, down the bottom is one from the Netherlands, which I'll be doing soon. The double deck inner city. The Auckland train that I featured relatively recently. There should be more, so I'm just going through. Just going through my list. These are ones that I've downloaded and or purchased. You know, including some reskins. And there's a whole lot here that I haven't featured yet on Simulated Erk, and you know, there is plenty of time. So what I'm trying to do now, I downloaded. Okay, so there is some London Underground stuff coming. There is 3 different Japanese trains that I have. I am trying to find, and I might not be able to find it here. I might have to go to standard. And I'm okay, so we're just looking, because I'm looking for an electric multiple unit that I downloaded, and I just found it. Okay, now we have the Northern Railway version 1, which is the Indian route that you can get. So we're going to set out, we'll just keep the same time, summer clear 12 noon. We may actually go through both of these. There's a couple of different scenarios. The durations might not necessarily mean anything, that just might mean that they didn't add that particular field. I've got no idea where in India this is, where we are going, but we're about to go there, I think. So let's strap ourselves in, cross our fingers, say a prayer maybe, I don't know, and let's see what we're in for, because just like you're listening to this and watching the screen right now, I am doing exactly the same thing for the first time. I have not seen this. I didn't preload it or pre-try it or anything like that. So you can see that it's there. Now what we're seeing now is various screenshots which you normally see when the game is loading. And Dovetail games, they have been really good actually in terms of encouraging people to take screen caps. Okay, this one's an ad for a new German line. I think I've got enough German content to do me until 1999. But they have been really good in getting the community involved and doing screen caps on these loading screens and that sort of thing. So hopefully this will load shortly. Hopefully this will do exactly what it would say that it would do on the internet, because I really do want this to work. Well, that's a little bit different of a screen cap. There's some freight. I haven't actually done, and maybe that's something that I'll change, I haven't actually done a lot of freight. I've been concerned with doing passenger services. Now that's a good view of a station and the general area, East Coast Main Line. So I'm just hoping that this will work. I'll be disappointed if we get to this point and it hasn't worked and I need to scrap the episode. I'm certainly hoping that that's not the case. So a little bit of a different episode, but we'll see how we go. Train Sim World, yes, that is available. I haven't played ICE yet. For the base, there is some more. It is lots of different playlists, which is a little bit of a concern. On usually slow all of this before at first about what, because apart when you think of the normal videos, partly is because it's not, you know, I will have to have a look stuff there. There could well be stuff there as well. This is starting to take a little bit more time than has been down shortly. Is a Indian route with a an electric multiple unit over there. Okay, here we go. I think we're in. Scenario failed to load. Okay, well apparently there are some issues with that and something that you can fix. So after all that, that was an anticlimax. But what we will do, we'll have a look for the actual route. Oh, that was annoying. I'm going to have to go down in and try some more scenarios, because there were some that says if it doesn't work, do this. So hopefully I can go in via quick drive. Northern Railway version 1, here we go. Okay, let's go. Now, I don't know where any of these places are, so let's go. PF2, I presume, is platform 2, super fast. And we'll go as far as we can. So I've done that, now I need to select the train. So we'll go backwards, because I've already shown you some of the things that I've got going forward. And let's see what we can find. So what I might have to do, I might just have to load every scenario. Just might have to load every scenario and go from there. Because I do want to run the Indian train on the Indian route. I've got this far. Okay, so I don't know, although this will be a bit of a test. Let's just pick the first one. A General Express, okay, that sounds good to me. So we'll load that up. And to spare you looking at all these loading screens again, and to make my editing easier, let's have a look at a little bit of a slice of And welcome back. We are here. That didn't take as long to load as it did previously, but that would also be because the scenarios actually decided that they wanted to load on this occasion. So I just need to get my driving HUD back. There we go. So we could actually... in India. Have a look at that. I need to adjust my screen resolution, but that's a problem for future Erk. You can still get the idea. So let's have a look at our train. So here is our train. Don't know how you're supposed to necessarily see through those windows, but we'll have a look in a minute. We'll turn our lights, have a look at our lights. off, on, red, off, on. So that is our locomotive. There's another train in the back platform. There's a few platforms. Oops. So I'll just get rid of the HUD for a moment. Now, I did read a quick way to do this, but I forget right now. So there is our train. We are in India. So this looks like it's actually going to work. Now, we're not on a timetable, so we don't have to worry. There's our locomotive, 30215. Hang on, we've got another train coming in somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's have a scan around and have a look at our environment. Luggage brake generator car, that's where the noise could be coming from. So our electric train will work here once I find it. There's a dock platform. Oh, there's another train coming in the background. How good's this? Seriously, this is fantastic. So we've got another train on the back platform. Let's go for... cancel that. I'm just pressing... Oh, okay. Got my HUD back. Okay, that's sweet. Alright, there's our locomotive. So we should have a look at that other train departing. This is cool. Now, I know there's a lot of people in Train Simulator World, especially Australians, who might say, oh, you know, we should have Australian locomotives and etc. in the game and that sort of stuff. And yeah, I 100% agree. But when you think of India, the amount of people that are not only in India, but are Indians around the world, and are very, very patriotic when it comes to their country, then you think about the amount of people there, the amount of trains that are there. You can see the quality of the work that's been done here. It would be really nice to be able to see this promoted more in Train Simulator, and for people to actually go and use it. So let's go down a little bit. So we're having a look at some of the carriages now. So if my screen down the bottom's right, my HUD's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 carriages. So luggage van. I'm glad there's some English on here, because otherwise I'd have no idea what I'm looking at. Luggage van. Now Bharat Stream is the person/company that does this, so that's a nice little bit of sneaky advertising. Well done, sir. So let's see, second class car. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Second class car. Hang on, might have to zoom in a little bit more here. Some nice sneaky little advertising there, but that will help. So second class. Now we have... Oh, I know what's happening, because the other train's there as well. So we've got people on the platform, The clock is actually working, and that matches with the time on the HUD. So air conditioning tier 2, I presume. So it's a very long train. There's people on the platform who just haven't been copied and pasted from the Train Simulator universe, but they've been, they've been added to look like they're locals. Sleeper class. Fair few sleeper carriages. This train is massive. Second class. A carriage for the disabled and luggage. And that is the back of our train. So if we zoom out a bit, that's the back of the train. The stations, of course, I can't judge how authentic it is, but the station is nicely done. Red flashing light on the back of both trains there. Now what I should do, if I can go back, well, maybe that's not going to work. Yeah, this might be a good view. If I can go back and have a look at both trains on the way back. Maybe a little to the side so I don't hit all these stanchions and whatnot. So there's a different type of train, and it looks like a more modern, or at least an upgraded train on the left hand side. A buffet car. Some sleepers on the left. There's a clear difference between the different classes. You can just tell by the outside of the carriages. Now, so there's no locomotive for the train on the left yet. The train on the far left that we saw come in, maybe he's waiting for us to go. So that might be as good as time as any to actually get in the... Hang on, did I get in the cab? Alright, let's drive some trains. Reverser into forward. We'll just have one last look on the platform. I didn't want to go all the way down there, but hang on. Let's have a look at the... Okay, so this is a wider view of the scene. Yeah, he's probably waiting for me to go. That's probably why he's not going anywhere. All right. All right, let's go, shall we? Oops, want to go into emergency. Why are you no working? Let's try this again. Oh, have we? Okay, we might have to raise the pantograph. Oh, there we go. We've raised the pantograph. That'll work now. Let's try. Sometimes when you're on trains, okay, Oi! Hang on, we're going backwards here. Stop. Okay, I think that. Okay, so that should be that way. That way. Can we go forward now? Alright, here we go. Sometimes if you see a pantograph, it may not actually be modelled correctly, so it might not appear to actually go up, but it is actually up. So now I'm no expert in Indian railways whatsoever or their signalling system, even though they have got a lot of things from the British because of history. But with my railway knowledge, I can understand that we are proceeding and we're going through the turnout on the right here, so the other train will be able to go. No, we're not going through the turnout. We're continuing on this line. Okay, that turnout looked like it was set for us, but. So when we get into a section of clear green, we'll go and have a look at the train outside. Now this is just giving us a forward view of the track, not necessarily of the controls. They might not have actually modelled, may not have modelled the actual interior of the cab, but this is fine. 20 kilometre an hour zone. So not much we can do at this stage. Okay, we are going to the right now. So there is a 60 speed board coming up. Haven't seen another signal yet, and there's none that's actually on the screen shown as coming up. So I don't know how far I can go. So I'll just stay here. So I'll just stay here for the moment, and because I've got absolutely no. Well, then again, having said that, in a lot of the scenarios, etc., that I do, I don't necessarily know where I'm going anyway. Okay, so that's our 60. So the speed signs look different, as you'd expect. Now, I don't know where the next signal is, and I have to wait for the back of the train anyway to clear that 60 board, so it's still 20 for the moment. Got another train coming up on the right hand side. This, my friends, is awesome. And this will give us a good view of the route. This is how long the train is. I haven't driven a passenger train this long on Train Simulator. If this train next to us is any guide, although then again there could be two trains just coupled together in the siding as well. Half the train, according to the HUD's, not even past the speed board yet. So we'll just sit back here and relax as much as we can. I still can't see any signals on the HUD either. So still waiting for a still waiting for the train. Has it cleared? Yes, it has cleared the 60 zone now. Don't know where the signal is, but we'll... I was going to say, what I'm not hearing is the noise of the diesel. Then I remembered I'm driving an electric train. So I may not hear some noises that I'm expecting to. Also, like the clunkety clunk. There's a signal coming up, and I don't know what it is. So I should start to brake until I can actually see it. So we'll just roll in. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a clear run. And also too, I have to adjust to the little nuances. Will the signal be on my left or on my right? That I'm not quite sure of yet. A 140 zone coming up. Okay. Okay, so we're coming up with some more crossovers. And the 140 zone coming up thanks to the HUD. Now I can't see the signal, and in reality I would be starting to be concerned, but I can see that it's green now, so we can open up another train coming in the opposite direction. So I can hear the diesel of the other train. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. This is cool. Loving this. Loving it. Okay, just waiting for the back of the train to get into the 140 zone. Then we can just open her up and see what it looks like from the outside. Now the interesting thing is that I'm going forward, but according to the HUD, I've got the train actually in reverse. Might be one of those little idiosyncrasies that I'm not 100% aware of. Now we're not quite at the end, not quite fully into the 140 zone yet. Actually, I didn't think the train would go 140, and maybe it can't. So let's open her up. Here we go, full throttle now. And let's have a look outside, shall we? Actually, we'll adjust that. Need to turn the lights back on. So here we go. This is cool, boys and girls, ladies and gents. 88, nearly 89, 90 kilometres an hour. I don't know what the actual speed, actual top speed will be. So we don't have to worry about stopping at any stations anyway, so that's not necessarily a concern. So we just passed over a creek or a river. So what we might do now is go into this mode. Hang on, we got a 140 zone into a 20. Hang on, need to get back in the cab for this. Need to shut off immediately, and there's maybe it's a crossover, but I should slow down for it. Don't want to break my Indian train on the first day that I've used it. A 140 zone going into a 20. I bet you that's a crossover or something. brakes are going good. Okay, we'll shut off now and we'll just coast in now that I've brought the train down. Oh, I brought it down too much. A 140 going into a 20. Not that we reached 140, but now I should point out, like I did point out before, this route's a paid route. So if you want to drive an Indian train on another route, you can. But you won't get this experience. Level crossing. Okay, so we are going through the turnout on the left, which would explain the 20 kilometre an hour limit that's coming up. Alright, so we're going through the crossover, a bit too hot as it turned out, but I would not have wanted to hit that anywhere near 140, and there's a good reason that I wouldn't have been able to go through that, continue on that main line. There's another train. Nice long platform for the train. So it looks like oil wagons. So that's a fairly good reason to divert me around. Plus, of course, there's this station there. So in this scenario, I don't need to stop. A Union Pacific wagon in India, okay. Massively long platform, although as we've seen we are a massive long train. Let's go outside and have a look from a different angle, so we'll just pass through the station. So we've got a main line, or what seems to be a main line, and we'll just shove a whole heap of oil wagons that are just stabled there unattended. We'll just do that. All right. We've got a yellow signal coming up here and a green one after that I can see in the distance, which could be for me, but I'm not 100% sure of just yet. Speed limit is still 20 kilometres an hour anyway, so no big rush. Okay, so it looks like this line is ending, so just based on the amount of grass and everything there, so so we're heading over towards the right. Certainly a massive amount of work's gone into this, back up to 140. So we'll see if this is going to be the case when we get to the next station, because that could be a common thing. Hello, baby girl. That could be a very common thing. Green signal ahead, but we've just entered the 140 zone. Let's look at the level crossing. Now, I don't know what part of India this is in. Not necessarily a fan of that view. That's the back of the train, and the back of our train's still on the platform. Which gives us a massive indication of just how long our train is. Look at that! That's massive, and I've slowed down, so that is, oh, that's massive. I can't ever remember the Indian Pacific. Maybe trains like the Indian Pacific, the Ghan here in Australia, you know, maybe the Overland or the Southern Aurora in their heyday. I don't think they would have. You can just see the front of our train off to the left. We're just clearing the points now, but this train is massive. So that's the back of the 140. So we're now into the 140 zone now. So now we can and will crank it up. The back of our train is just passing the level crossing now. Now, obviously, you would not have these views as a driver in real life, but because this is a new experience for me, new map, etc. I am showing some different camera angles and that sort of thing, because it's important to see the outside. It's a route that I've paid for. A lot of effort's gone into this, and let's go back into the cab and let's see. This is all a mystery to me, but let's see what happens. Another crossing coming up. Don't even know if I am supposed to horn it at that, but just passing 80 kilometres an hour. I might move the, yeah, so we don't get interference with the stanchions. Yeah, that's good. That is a really good idea of how long our train actually is. Now at the moment it looks like we could be anywhere, but it's probably really till we get to the stations. And of course, I've never been to India. I have seen documentaries and that sort of stuff, and I know a fair few Indian people. Is this section we are in right now, is that authentic? I don't know. The couple of stations that we've been in look pretty good. They look similar to what they probably would be like in real life. Now, what I don't know, and I might look up if I remember, is what part of India is this? You know, it may well not be one of the more populated areas. Like, it might not be somewhere like Bombay or, you know, Karachi or one of the other areas of India that are well known, Delhi as another for instance. This might be a more isolated area. There weren't many people on the platform. I don't know if they were going to ever recreate the amount of people that would be on a train like this. Speaking of, let's see if we can go, let's see if they've modelled the interior. Yes, they have. Can we zoom the camera around? So we're in a, looks like we're in a little compartment. So the bars on the window, I would presume, would be to make sure that you don't get your head outside. Let's have a look at the scenery for a moment. Now that looks like something I'd see in Farm Simulator. Now you see something like that level crossing and you think, yeah, that's probably what it would be like. Again, I don't know how populated this area would be, and so, you know, are there this few houses? I don't know, but this is the passenger view outside one of the carriages, which is, you know, excellent to see. You don't always see this on some other trains anyway. And of course, while we're doing this, I've got no idea what's going on up the front, so that now would be a good time to go back and put our HUD back on. So we're still in a 140 zone. We're doing about 113, 115 feels like it'll probably be around about the max we can do. It's another long passenger train. I don't know if we'll get to see I don't know if we'll get to see the electric multiple unit or not during this. We've got about 27 kilometres of the trip to go. There's another freight train which could just well be stabled. So about 115 seems to be the limit. I wonder, in that case, what trains would actually be doing up to 140? Maybe it's a there's another 140 zone. Maybe 140 is like the general speed limit. Maybe a different locomotive may be able to go faster, but for this particular one, 115 seems to be about the high point. So a little bit uphill now. The track seems to be of higher standard than I expected. some buses over there. That's cool. Do you like that? You get the actual sound of what the train sounds like as you're passing it, and the diesel generator at the end. Another station on the left. So according to the HUD, we're on the main track, so no platforms here. So obviously, if we're a local train, they'd switch us across to the local platform. Now this again would probably show some of the English influence of you know, how the railways run. This happens a lot in England in multiple track sections where you've got the slow or the local on the outside. Now that line's going around to the left, looks like a siding. Where on a multiple track section, at least for the station, you'd have the all stations train turning out to the left, and then the express going straight down the middle. Ah, there's a red signal. Now, interestingly, normally even on free play mode, if you pass a red signal, that's game over. I don't think that there was anything. I just saw the red signal very quickly. I didn't see what normally would be a caution before that. Let's have a look. There's another one coming up. Normally it would say game over. There might have been another signal underneath it. I'm not sure. That one was definitely green. I just saw just out of the corner of my eye, oh, that's a red signal. I'm going past it. It hasn't said game over. What? Might also be a glitch. I'm not sure, but we've continued. But I do have to say this was money well spent. You know, I could have just spent some money on the route itself, but I did want to show a little bit of support, so I did buy some extra locomotives because I wanted to see the range and the difference between the free and the paid ones. Prices are generally comparable to what you'd get on the Train Simulator store. So we'll go for a bit of a look outside again. It's a view of the back carriage. Oh, there's another train coming. Now, what I'm also thinking, if you go into the HUD, it says that I've got the reverser in reverse. Thinking about it, having a look with the rear pantograph up, that could be more like a pantograph selector. So if you've got the back pantograph up, you put it into the minus 100% position. If you've got the front one up, you put it into the 100% position. But this is just me theorising here. So it doesn't look like we're doing 115 kilometres an hour on these views. That view it does. I want to switch the view so we're in the centre. Passing through another station. I certainly hope you're enjoying the ride. This is certainly something very, very different, and one that I'm looking forward to exploring in more detail. Giving the electric train, the electric multiple unit a run. Doing some more scenarios, maybe being able to go further. We're swaying a bit now. What's are we still on our track speed of... No, we're in a 60 zone. Okay, that'll explain that. Hang on, let's just shut off the power. It's till I hit on the tracks. It's swaying a bit, but it stayed on the track, so I'm a little surprised by that actually. And what was good when that train passed, I'm wearing headphones. So when I'm imagining myself standing in between the two trains, most of the train noise, because it was a diesel train, most of the noise was coming in my left ear. That was awesome. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit now. Now I'm showing you a little bit more outside than what I normally probably would. Not necessarily, now we're back in the 140 zone. Not necessarily concerned about the driving on this one, but I do want to show you the trains going past, the scenery, and that sort of thing as well. So sit back, relax and enjoy this. We've still got about 9 kilometres to go, but we will definitely come back to India soon for another episode. There we go, might just go, yeah, that might be a little better. There we go. Looks like, oh no, are we going to come off the tracks? It's a big tilt in the middle. We're in a 90 zone, so I should shut off again. That wasn't looking pretty in the middle. So if I go back a few carriages. Actually, what we might do, we might just crank up the speed. Have a look. Oh, we're back in 140 zone, but look at how long that train is. As I said, I'm not necessarily concerned about speed or good driving technique or anything like that. This is a little bit of entertainment. Speaking of, I hope you enjoyed the new look introduction that we featured. A little bit of real world footage that I didn't have to. Oh, another train coming. Oh, watch out, car. It's the back end of a train. Although I think there's supposed to be a loco attached to that. Oh, the loco's on the back. It was pushing. Okay. The loco was on the back on that one. I don't know. Yeah. It was odd. I signed up for a website which enables me to have free use of stock footage, and the stock footage you saw was from the London Underground, and then I inserted some of my footage from Train Simulator and London Underground, and later on I'll redo that footage and have it of another scene. And because I've done London Underground on Train Sim World as well, I've used the same footage from the real life and used different Train Sim World footage. So it looks sweet. I spent a lot of time on that across Channel Erk, as I try and incorporate some bits of real life into Simulated World. Look at how long that train is. There's another train off to our right. Oh no, we're in a 20 zone. Oh, we're going through a crossover. And we gotta stay on the tracks. Oh, this is the station we're supposed to be stopping at. Oh, this is our destination. See, I wasn't paying attention. Game over. Error derailment. No surprise there. Now what that's also going to mean, can I still switch between my cameras? I can't. And speeding 7 times. So that was 44 miles. Because I was just really interested in showing you the sights, I didn't actually comprehend that the station I was supposed to stop at, I didn't stop at, basically. Anywho, I'm Simulated Erk. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll have some more Indian railways for you soon, and more trains from around the world. We'll be heading soon to the Netherlands as well for another piece of Train Simulator that you might not necessarily see in other places. I'm Simulated Erk. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Links in the show notes, so if you want to get involved in Indian Train Simulator 2, you can. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you want to drive that route, that particular route, that is a paid route. However, said that if you are just happy driving an Indian train somewhere else, you can also download some trains and some locos and some wagons for free. I'm Simulated Erk. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed, and we'll see you later. Bye for now. Don't forget, stay safe out there, and keep up your situational awareness. Bye for now.